Okay, we are live. This and this my program is Talk Sports with Bipolar Miguel, and I'm Miguel, and I'm gonna come in on something that I heard on a podcast. I'm still listening to, but I'll listen to a little bit more, and it's something to do with sports culture and versus a dynamic sports culture. Mainly to do with the Copa America and the U.S. team. Um, First of all, I want to say that the U.S. really needs to beat Costa Rica to stay alive in the Copa America. That's the first thing I have to say. And it's very attractive competition. It always has. I've been interested in watching Copa America for some time, but it's intrigued me this year because it's in the U.S. and I know how the soccer culture here, which I'm gonna get to, is starting to get better. But I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. First of all, I'm impressed with the way that some of these teams that been playing in the Copa, and I haven't won the Copa in a while. Playing, especially some of the teams that have been there before and never won anything. Like Haiti, Haiti looked strong against Colombia. No, Colombia wasn't good. Peru, but Peru beat them. Peru found a way of beating them. But some of these other teams, especially Colombia, is doing pretty good. Um, Ecuador looked very good and a lot more energetic than Brazil. Unfortunately, there should have been a goal that was should have gone for them, but unfortunately, I already commented on that. Now going back to the U.S. team I want to reflect on the U.S. team for a little bit, and what Jurgen Klinsmann said in a press conference about that. He wants his team to be a little more dynamic and to play for themselves and be more aggressive, which I agree. I mean, the U.S. has a lot of talent this year. They got Jermaine Jones and they got a few other people. In it. But you know what? They're still not playing as a cohesive team as Jurgen Klinsmann wants them to. He wants them to play a lot harder and be a little more aggressive, which I agree. Which comes to the sports culture and being dynamic. This country's been based on seeing a lot of dynamic teams and and a lot of dynamic players. And fundamentally, sports in America has been based on dynamic teams winning championships, and and soccer is a culture. I mean, you can have a lot of dynamic players playing, and especially in the U.S. But you have to have the culture to play with it too. You have to surround yourself with the culture and the analytics of playing the game. Um, Soccer is a game of culture, basically, and you have to have the heart and the love for the game to be a great player. And I'm not saying that U.S. Has not produced great players because they have, like Clinton Dempsey, Donovan, um, and a few others I can mention. But you know, the reason the women's soccer team has been successful for so is because they have the soccer culture. I mean, everybody's playing and they love the game and they have the heart for it. You have to have the heart. And the men's soccer team, they play with heart sometimes and sometimes they don't. And that's why the soccer culture here is is starting to live up to its momentum, but it's not getting that much momentum. And I've seen a lot of dynamic teams that depended on teams, on one name players to carry the team, which is good. I mean, I can name several hundred players, and I can name a few that were dynamic. And carried the team. I mean, Michael Jordan carried the team for the Bulls for a long time. But after a while, the team built around Michael Jordan, and the team became dynamic in itself. And also, I can, you know, Charles Barkley carried the team, 76ers, for a very long time, and the Phoenix Suns. And yet the Suns hadn't won anything because they weren't that dynamic. And dynamicy in the U.S. is very big for a team. And you have to have a dynamic coach. That's what the American sports fans like. But dynamics is not, it's only part of the game. Culture plays a lot bigger part. You, that's why so many teams in soccer built themselves to be a great teams because they have not only dynamic parts to it, but a culture part to it. And here in the U.S., people want dynamic teams to win and win early and often, which that that's what ruins sports most of the time. And it's a shame because you can have as many dynamic teammates as you want, but if you don't build a team that has the culture and the will to play hard and have a heart, you're not gonna have a dynamic team or a cultural sports team. And soccer teams have always been dynamic and very culturalized. The one reason that Spain won the 2010 World Cup was because they were they had dynamics and they had culture, and the culture was there for a long time. They never had the dynamics because they really didn't support each other because of the in club fighting. But in 2010, before that, it changed, and they started having a culturalized and also a dynamic team, and they had players to carry from them. Andres Iniesta, David Villa, Fernando Torres carried them until 2010, and they had Sergio Ramos and a couple other players in there, and so they were a very dynamic team, and they of course, won to win the Cup. But that's not taken away from the Netherlands because they had their teams based on people carrying the team, like Robin and and a few other players, and that's good in a lot of ways. But if you don't have a team to build around them and to help them be the team they have to be, along with those dynamic players, you're not going to win a championship or a tournament like that. In this country, a lot of people think that your soccer, the men's soccer, have no heart. They have heart. It's just that they just don't put the effort that they should. I mean, there's a lot of players I can name that have heart and they're dynamic, but you have to put some more aggressiveness to it. Soccer is a sport also that you got to be aggressive. Not all the time, but most of the time. I played it, I know. Um, and like I was saying, to have a dynamic team, you have to have players that will support that guy that's carrying the team. Kobe Bryant carried the Lakers for a long time. So did Shaq. But Kobe was the main player they looked to. And then after a while, they built the team around Kobe. But Kobe still carried the team. Even going to Netherlands in the 70s and 80s, Netherlands had one big name player to carry the team. His name was Johan Cruyff. And and they had a lot of dynamic players, but they couldn't win the World Cup because they depended on one team member. And you can't do that. You have to have the culture and the heart for it. And the U.S. team, hopefully they'll show some improvement. And of course, like I said, they must win against Costa Rica. They'll be playing in a few minutes. And we'll see what Jurgen Klinsmann does and how he coaches the team. There's a lot of people I know want his head, and that's okay. But it's not Jurgen's fault that the team isn't playing to its capacity that they have to be. I mean, he brought players even from Europe that would diversify the team and bring culture and heart to it. But still the team's still trying to be a dynamic team, and you can't do that. And there are other teams that you can win with a dynamic, having a dynamic team. I mean, the San Francisco 49ers did it, and also the New York Giants did it. One man carried the team most of the time, and they depended on Eli Manning, and he did it twice. And so on and so forth. But the thing is that culture is a big part in sports, and if you don't have that culture, you're gonna be that simple team that gets to that level but can't win the big one, and that's how it is in sports. I know in the U.S. it works the reverse because a lot of people want to see teams win now instead of building for the future. And now that they see that some teams don't work that way, they have to build for the future. You got to get cultured. And that's pretty much the bottom line. So sports in the U.S. is a culture, but it's based on dynamics. Sports elsewhere is a culture. I mean, they put their hearts into it. And once again, the heart and the soul plays a big part when you play. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's okay. But it is a very big thing to have culture and heart to go along with it, along with dynamics. I do welcome anybody that wants to talk in my program. We can discuss this if you want. Also, that I'm going to be alive for a little bit because I'm going to give a couple of updates as soon as I get my iPhone. And there's a few things that maybe in the future I will do. Hopefully, I'll get some sponsors or some people that want to advertise on my videos. They're welcome to. I know there was somebody that was talking to me about it, but we'll see what happens. No decision has been made on that. I know I'm going off a little bit of the subject because there's a couple other things that I want to say. And going back to Muhammad Ali, I already made a video about that. And a lot of people are still thinking that, saying Muhammad Ali was a great icon for a lot of Black African Americans, and it's true. He was deep into the culture and into his religion for it. And then there's another side that says that he was a traitor because he never got drafted. He didn't want to get drafted, and he turned into Islam for his reasons of not going into Vietnam. But the problem is this: Muhammad Ali did say in one of his older interviews that he did not want to go to a country to fight a war and be killed for them. He went for that country, and that was the view on back then. That was the view for everybody. There were other draft dodgers in that time, I mean, Muhammad Ali, of course, he's the biggest because he was a superstar at the time, and Muhammad Ali was a great superstar. I mean, I admired him from then till now, and he was a great person. And I already mentioned that before. Few other things. Also, I was looking back at some tape recordings of some messages that I haven't checked in a while. I will hopefully whenever I have time, I will still give live updates on sports and soccer because I've had a couple people ask me about more soccer scores, so I will do that when I have some time to do it. But yeah, I might do it today because I'm definitely gonna be watching a little bit of the Copa America and a couple other things, and I'll probably be live doing it. Couple other things, like I said, after some reports that Kimbo Slice was false, it came out to be true that he died. Um, my heart goes out to his family and so on and so forth. Like I said before, I don't know that much about his career or anything, but what I've seen, he was a pretty good fighter. Um, and the fight between Brock Lesnar and Mark Hunt. That's, like I said before and earlier today, Brock Lesnar shouldn't even fight him. I mean, Mark Hunt is a very, very experienced fighter. He's won just about everything that in the sport, from MMA to UFC. He's been world champion a couple times. Uh, I know he's a New Zealander, but he's fought a lot of fights, more experience than what Brock Lesnar is. Not saying that Brock Lesnar wasn't a UFC champion, because he was, but I think Mark Hunt will destroy him. I mean, he's the more adept fighter than what Brock Lesnar is. And that being said, I still don't like the guy, and I still think he's an asshole. But that's my opinion, and I'm gonna stick to it. That's about it on the things. But stay tuned. I'll be back in a few minutes and give some live scores. And in fact, I'm gonna take a little break, and I'll be back in a little bit. Thanks for watching. And like I said, I enjoy all the views. Yeah, I'm striving to get more subscribers and more viewers. I already did a few adjustments on my YouTube channel. Hopefully, I'll start getting them. But I do appreciate all the views that I'm getting, and hopefully, some comments I'm getting are good too. Like always, I'll give out my email address, my phone number. That way, if you want to contact me by email, you can do it at bipolarmiguel@gmail.com. And bipolar is just one whole word, and then at gmail.com. Also, you can contact me at 1-872-802-1492. And I'll get it. You can leave a message, and I'll leave a message back or I'll respond to it on my videos. Like I said, I'm trying my hardest to work out my videos and work out my techniques. I'm pretty much having fun with this, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing here on YouTube, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. Of course, I'll have some negativity out of it, but I get some helpful hints, and then I'll have some people that don't like it. But I'm doing my best to improve on it. But I do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.